Hello everybody. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to show short animations in PsyToolkit. You can do that with a one-line instruction. That's new in version 3.6.2. And just let me quickly show you what it looks like. Let me go in full screen here. Now I made a very simple task in which you just see numbers and you need to press an E for even numbers and an O for odd numbers. So press space to start, and when I click here, okay, so it's even, so I press the E key, and then you see this funny animation. Odd works well, it's a smiley face, but if I press the wrong button, then I get the head shake. Now the nice thing here is that we actually have only three separate images per animation. They're played in a longer sequence, but you get this really nice effect. And how do you do that? Also notice that the face looks a little bit three-dimensional. I'm going to show you that in a separate video how to make those stimuli as well. So watch this channel. But first, let me explain the code here. So I go back to the lesson. So I have a link below the video about this lesson. Um, the code is explained here line by line, and I zoom in a little bit. So we have, so here we have the PsyToolkit code that you put in your experiment. You also need to upload some images. Um, I will show it in a second. Also, we have these black circles with a white number in it. They refer to an explanation below the code block. Here are the faces, the images that I use in my file manager. So as you can see here in the bitmap section, basically what you do, so you say bitmaps, and then you have in this case 6 images that you need to upload in your PsyToolkit account from your local computer. Here they are actually on my system. So head 1 is a left-facing frowny face. Head 2 is a straightforward looking face. Head 3 is a rightward looking face. And when you play these in a quick sequence, you get sort of like, like a shaking head. Shaking is sort of like, a disappointment about the participant making a mistake. And for the smile, I have 3 faces. So smile 1, smile 2, and smile 3. Smile 1 is a little bit smiley, smile 2 smile gets bigger, smile 3 is a big smile. And again, I play them in the sequence 1, 2, 3, and then I go back to this one. So by playing static images in a sequence that looks like an animation, a little video clip if you want. Also see how these images, it's not just a completely yellow face. On the right, there's a little bit white here. That makes it look three-dimensional. How to do that? There's a separate video about how to make such stimuli in Inkscape. That's really useful. So we have an SVG file, will be explained. I recommend you to watch that as well because these are not difficult to make. I mean, you make them in a few minutes, really. Also notice that the extension is WebP. That is sort of like a really small common image format used in the browser world. Okay, so that about the images. And so that what we have here. So if we go to the table, now again, it has nothing to do with the animations in principle, but you need to have different conditions. So we have 6 conditions. One row in each row is one condition. So we have odd and even. And then the second column here is the number that people can see. I do this up to 6, just for simplicity. And the third column in my table is the key that people need to press. So we have 2 keys, the O and the E. So the O is key number 1. So odd, press O, even press, like this, the second key. Okay, so that's the table that will be used by the task. Now, if you know PsyToolkit, you can describe your conditions in a so-called table. So we have a task called my task, and later we will say that we do this task 20 times in this specific example. Of course, you can do it longer or less. You can change that. I will show you how to do that later. Now, so the first line here, keys O and E, that just tells PsyToolkit, I want that in this task, people can only press the keys O or E, no other keys. If people press another key, that's just being ignored. And that's quite nice because sometimes people might erroneously press a key and you don't want that messes up your experiment. So O or E. Then the first instruction is just showing the actual number. We say show a text. That's an instruction in PsyToolkit. Now what is being shown? If here we say at 2. If you use the at sign, that refers to a column in your table, and to 2 means the second column. So at 2. Now you might say, well, okay, but how is so which row then? Now, but PsyToolkit does by default every trial it will choose a random row from your table. So for example, it might be this row that it chooses on a given trial, and then if it takes the at 2 would revert to number 3. So it will show number 3, and it will expect that you press the first key, the O. All right, so that's show text. So it will show you a text. Then you have read key. Now read key is an instruction to wait for a key press. You first specify which is the correct key. That is from the third column of your table. So for this line, for example, it would be key 1, so which is from this key statement, the first key, and you wait up to 5,000 milliseconds or 5 seconds. Now this is all basic PsyToolkit stuff, and this as well. Clear -1 just means remove or clear the last shown stimulus from the screen. Now clear -1, what was the last shown stimulus? That was show. Everything that starts with a show is a stimulus. Show text, that was the last shown stimulus. So you take that number from the screen after people press the key. All right, so far no animation yet, but it comes soon. So if status is correct, so this means if, so do the next, these two lines are only done if if the status of the read key. So status refers to the outcome of a read key instruction inside Toolkit if it's correct. Why double? You also can use here one equal sign or two equal sign, as is commonly done in programming languages. If status is correct, so if people press the correct button, then you show a text as you did before. The text is the word correct. Now we have the XY location where it's on the screen. If you go to the help files, actually, there is, and I have a link below the video to that. You can see here on the coordinate system that we use inside Toolkit, 0, 0 is the center of the screen. And then say for example 0, 100 would be just here a little bit below the center. Okay, so look that up. Um, so we show that text, and then now we do the animation. That's what it's all about. So what do we do here? We say there are lots of different things that you need to type in here, but what is, so always show animation. That just tells PsyToolkit, okay, I want an animation now. Where is it shown? The XY coordinates, 0, 0. That means at screen center. How long does the whole animation sequence of all the images last? In this case, 800 milliseconds. I will show you why actually. And then what are the images shown? Now, first we show image smile 1. And I'll just get my images here again. So first we do smile 1. That's this one here. Then we do smile 2, which is this one. Then smile 3, this one. Then we go back to smile 2, this one. And then we do smile 1 again. So you get this smile, big smile gets bigger, and then it goes back to the normal smile again. Okay. Now why is between, so there are, how many breaks are there between different images? Well, there are 4. So there are 5 images in total shown, right? We have 3 different images, but we show 5. So smile 1 is shown twice. Smile 2 is shown twice as well. So we have a sequence of 5 images. And that means there are 4 breaks, and each break is 200 milliseconds. So 4 times 200, in this case would be 800. So you can put here any number, but play around with it, I would say. But if you want sort of like 100 or 200, which is quite good for these sort of like sequences, then you come up with numbers like this if you have a sequence of 5. Else, if the status was not correct, so if people make the mistake, you show the text wrong. Remember that was underneath the face, and then you have again the same show an animation at locations 0, 0, 1000 milliseconds. Then how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 images. That means there are 10 pauses between images, because 11 minus 1 is 10. And if every of these 10 is 100 milliseconds, then we can come up to a total duration of the animation of 1000 milliseconds. Okay, so that's how it's coded. So it's very simple. So you need to choose what heads you show, and the best thing is just to play around with it. Why did I do it like this? Well, if you have so like you start with a straight looking face, then it first goes left, then it goes back to straight, then right, then goes back to straight, left, and so on. And then you get sort of like this shaking head, right? Okay, so that's how it works. Phi. People often ask why. Fi is the opposite of the word if, right? If this is where it all starts. Here you start checking if something happens, if status equals correct, then do these two lines. Otherwise, so if status is not correct, if people made a mistake, or can be wrong or a timeout, then do these two lines. And this is basically now we're done with the if block basically. Fi, opposite. That's the word if written oppositely. That is done in some programming languages, so that's why it's done in this sort of like PsyToolkit programming language as well. Then we have no matter what happens, whether you made a mistake or not, right? So you have a delay of 1 second or 1,000 milliseconds. Clear -1. That's again you clear the last show thing um, from the screen. Now it could also actually that is just that removes the animation phase from the screen, and then it saves some data to your data output file. Again, that's basic side toolkit. There's separate tutorials about this, but just in short, so what we save is the first column of the table, right, which is the word odd or even, then the reaction time and the status, which will be number 1, 2, or 3. 1 means correct, 2 means wrong, and 3 means timeout. Now, um, that's it. That's all it is. So the block training is just this comes with an instruction. So there are 3 instruction lines. Basically, in the block you have the instruction text only uses in blocks. Simple text line on the screen, and then you can say the XY coordinates as explained before. Here text, press space, start key. Now notice in tasks we have something like show text. In a block we just have the word text. Now simply because blocks are different. Blocks are not really time critical like trials are. So that's why we have a slightly different syntax. We have here wait for key. This waits as long as it takes for people to press the space bar. That's the default key. You can specify another key like the A or the Q or whatever you want. You could add a letter. Task list. Everything between the word task list and end here is which tasks are to be done here. There's only one task called my task, and we do it 20 times. And that is the whole explanation of the code. I hope that's helpful. If you find it helpful, please like and also subscribe to this channel. That really helps PsyToolkit. If you have questions about this, please leave a comment below the video, and then I can answer it there so that other people benefit from it. But really important, do this task yourself so that you can actually see what it looks like, and just play around with it. Right? It's a very simple task, and it's you can then also later, if you do it completely, you get a data file here, and then you can see what the data output looks like. Right. Thanks for watching, and then see you for another tutorial soon.